Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. We are tremendously growing and I want to thank each and every participant who takes his time to watch Rogers Kakasungura's videos. And as I promised you, I will also commit to give you credible information without inciting and without peddling propaganda. I want to give you a 3-minute video. You take your time, watch that video clip, listen to the contents in that video, and thereafter, I will come back to inject my opinion.
I agree with him that we need to prepare to receive the finance minister, our colleague, for the media review. Mr. Speaker, if the majority leader, the minister responsible for finance, and the majority chief whip would hear me, the House is not currently composed properly to receive the finance minister. There are necessary...
Why do you say that?
There are necessary preparations that ought to be done, including the visit of the House by the Common Fund Administrator to clarify very important issues before the finance minister will get a proper hearing in this House. So I agree with them that there should be a committee of the whole to deal with those things. Two, Mr. Speaker, my colleague, the Deputy Minister for Information, I thought for what we have seen on CNN and everything, he would have taken the opportunity.
Hold on. When you finish, I'll give you the opportunity.
Under 93.1.
I'll give you the opportunity. Let
93.1 to brief the House on what he saw in Kenya, where Kenyan public are beating up members of Parliament for passing bad laws.
Honorable leader.
They are taking advantage.
Honorable leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
It appears.
Mr. Speaker, it's a serious matter.
Yes,
I saw colleague members of Parliament beating
Honorable leader, this is a sideline issue.
running on
Honorable leader, this is a sideline issue.
This is an opportunity to advise us as to how to pass good laws to avoid being beaten by the public.
Honorable leader, this is a sideline issue, please.
We should be worried. In fact, when I saw him running and the police were ushering him, through a tunnel to escape, it's a serious matter, Mr. Speaker. We thank God that
Well.
safely.
Well.
But the opportunities still for him to use order 93.
Let me give the floor to
Speaker. I think as legislators, we should be mindful of our language. Yes. We have every right as politicians to invite any minister in this case, even to the point of agency heads. Right? But to carry out a veiled threat. And what you just said is a veiled threat to the Common Fund Administrator. If you want to hear, just make an appeal to the Speaker for her to be invited. I did. Of course I did.
Honorable Union, it appears the leadership Honorable Union.
Mr. Speaker, I have nothing more.
When you are attacking leadership, you have to be.
I have nothing more useful to add. Thank you. May the majority leader live long.
Eugene, when you are attacking leadership, yes, let him give the opportunity to a Kenyan man.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think that we traveled as a committee, and the committee has leadership. The leadership is on its way, and hopefully by Monday we'll officially. Of course, we need to please leader. But your leader. So, Mr. Speaker, we'll do that when the leadership of the committee arrives here today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a parliament session in Ghana. And the member of parliament on the floor is saying, and warning colleagues in Ghana's National Assembly. Now listen, members of parliament. I watched CNN. I saw how Kenyans are beating members of parliament for passing bad laws. The majority leader here should be in a position to guide this house on how we pass laws to avoid being beaten by the public as Kenya's members of parliament were beaten. He is saying he saw his friend in Kenya running through a tunnel, escaping for his life because of passing bad laws. I want to speak to Genesis. This video clip confirms the impact you've brought in Africa and beyond. When I started speaking to you, those who follow me, remember I told you, whatever you are doing now is not only bringing sanity in the Republic of Kenya, but also bringing sanity to the entire world. You remember I told you, whatever you are doing now, it is not about Kenya. It is about setting an example for the coming generations across the world. It is happening today. When you hear the members of the National Assembly from Ghana using Kenya as an example of what happens when members of parliament doesn't take precautions when passing laws. The Kenyan youth have spoken to the world. The Kenyan youth, the Gen Zs, have spoken to Africa. Every nation in Africa is now giving Kenya as a reference. I told you, you've written a history that will remain in books for decades and decades to come. This is something that has never been seen since independence in the Republic of Kenya. The boldness you took to the streets, it wasn't in vain. It is going to see several reforms, several changes, not only in Kenya, but across the world. The Genesis demos caught the attention of the world. It caught the attention of international media houses. And each and every country on earth knows there exists a generation in Kenya that is called Gen Z, who are able to chase members of parliament, who are able to force members of parliament to flee. Even those countries in Africa that have been experiencing dictatorship for a very long time are now thinking of reforming because they never know tomorrow. The Gen Zs, I saw them releasing a poster yesterday cancelling the nationwide protests. For now, that was a good idea. But again, as I said in my past videos, we should strategize based on the following. 1, we decide on Tuesday we are coming to the streets and we are pushing for Ruto's resignation, for instance. We camp on the streets until Ruto resigns. For example, on Thursday, we decide we want to camp on the streets until CS Kindiki resigns. That is the agenda for that particular day. Wacha tukue agenda oriented. Tusikuje tu, yani, we are just protesting and we don't know what we want. Right? If we are targeting the resolution of the cabinet, tukae kwa street kuprotest paka ile siku cabinet itakuwa dissolved. That is when we shall rest. Tukiachieve hiyo, tunasonga mbele. Dissolve parliament. Tuna protest until parliament gets dissolved. If they dissolve parliament, that is when we shall rest. Wacha tukikuja kwa streets now after this, tukwe agenda orient, tujue what we need. Of course right now we are protesting kiwholesale, yani tumeshikanisha vyote. Mara tunasema Ruto resign, mara tunasema finance bill, mara tunasema reshuffle cabinet, mara tunasema vunja bunge, mara tunasema wacha police brutality, mara. So we are putting so many things in one basket, and once it gets heavier we will be unable to move. Kindly, based on that advice, the mobilizers next, when we come on the streets, let us be agenda oriented. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. See you in the next video. Asanteni sana.